Governor Bailey, does the guidance from the BOE on moving forcefully actually open the door for 50 basis points?
Well, I think the way I would frame that, it very much goes back to what the others have been saying. And as Christine was saying, I mean, we are being hit by a very large national real income shock, which is coming from outside. There is uncertainty around two parts of that in terms of monetary policy. One is, of course, the eventual scale of it, because it's unfortunately still evolving. Secondly, the impact of it, precisely how it passes through into the economy and what the effects of it are. But the scale of the shock is very substantial, and in and of itself, it will have an effect, a big effect, because it will reduce domestic demand, and it will pass through into the labour market, and it will pass through into inflation. Monetary policy has, of course, a very important role to play because it, it will act alongside that shock. And it's very important, as we said, and this is where we come to the language that we use, that it, of course, is there also to tackle the second-round effects as they come through price setting and wage setting. So the message that we gave and was in the language of our last meeting, as you rightly said, was that if we see greater persistence of inflation, that's second-round effects, then we will act more forcefully. And we will have to act more forcefully. Now, in terms of your precise question, what does that mean? Well, of course, I'm not going to say what it means at our next meeting, because our next meeting is still a month away. A lot will happen between then. What I would say to you is that, of course, it leaves options on the table, and that's very deliberate. Very deliberate. I mean, I want people to take a message away from that. It's quite clear that as we respond to this shock, we want to have those options on the table for precisely the reason that Agustin has just said. There will be circumstances in which we will have to do more. We're not there yet in terms of the next meeting. We're still a month away, but that's on the table. But you shouldn't assume it's the only thing on the table. That's the key point.
But, Governor, for you personally, would you be leaning towards 50 basis points?
No, because I'm going to see what happens in the next month. No. I'm afraid one thing that is omnipresent in our system is that we make policy meeting by meeting, and there's always another meeting. If you can only guarantee one thing in monetary policy, it is that there's another meeting.